Okay, so we let our fiberglass sit overnight, and now I'm going to go back and trim it. You can see here it kind of came out pretty good. I actually dropped something on the wing when I was kind of finishing up last time. Put a big ding in it, so I had to sort of patch that little spot right there. But I got hanger rash, and I haven't even gotten the plane finished. So let me trim this off and probably do just a little bit of light touch sanding, and then come back and do the top side. Okay, well, before I continue on, I do want to mention it's been really fun doing this video build log, and one of the commenters, Edward, has he's building a similar one. He's building the actual the Barnstormer 25L, which is the low wing version, which is a really cool version, and I've been looking for that plane and I haven't been able to find it, but I'm going to keep an eye out because it's a different build, and like I said, it's a low wing and it looks really cool, and I do want to get that kit. But he's building it, and he has a build log, and if you go to rcgroups.com, that's rcgroups.com, and you do a search, just search for the Barnstormer 25L in the forums, and I think it's in the Balsa Builders forums, and you'll find his build log in there. And I think his username on those forums is just rcpilot7974. So go on there and look for Edward's build. It's pretty cool, and he's pretty far along. I think he's going to beat me. He's going to finish before I do. So but check it out. There's a lot of other people providing tips and things on his build, and there's a lot of good pointers, and what Edward's doing is pretty cool. So check it out. And you know, it's amazing. I like seeing this. I like seeing other people doing the builds, and I'm glad that other people are building. So anyhow, thanks Edward for the comments and for giving me the info on your build log. And as you know, I've been on there kind of making my comments, so it's pretty cool. All right, so now I just got to cut off this strip on here, and I think it's going to be a little tough with a blade. Not too bad. There we go. Cool. Let's see if I can trim this. Now, I'm not doing anything on this back part because, remember, I have to install this plywood on here after I put the aileron linkages in there. So I don't want to mess with that right now. But this looks pretty good. Like here, I'm just going to leave it. I'll probably clean this up a little bit more. Cool. I'm just going to clean up the leading edge a little bit because I don't know how much of that fiberglass I'm going to pull over. I may just take it to the very edge, or I may pull it over to the bottom, but I'm not sure yet. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sand this just to make it smooth. Okay, so I have my little tape guides, and again, this is just so when I start painting on the resin, I just kind of keep things straight. It's not critical, it just helps me. And here's my sheet I'm going to use. This is going to go all the way back to here. And then I'm going to try to get it to kind of come around the wrap underneath. It gets a little tricky because the fabric will want to kind of just pop up when it's going. You're kind of doing this, it wants to just pop back up. So even if you weight it down, eventually it will sort of start wanting to do this. So you have to kind of watch it. And so as it's starting to cure, you just kind of keep putting it down. So you just keep pushing it down, and then eventually it'll just kind of tack on there. This time I'm going to use a little foam brush instead of that bristle brush I was using. That was an old brush and I was losing little bristles and it was being a big pain. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. And actually these actually work pretty good because they're kind of stiff, and it's nice when you're starting to work on the fabric to kind of move the resin around. These work really well because they have a nice straight edge, and like I said, they're kind of stiff, so you can kind of work the material through, and it works pretty well. So I should have done that on the previous one on the other side. Okay, so now it's just a matter of gently working with it to work out any kind of air pockets and make sure that the resin is fully soaked into the fiberglass cloth, and that you got some pretty even coverage. The edges are always a little tricky because you start getting little pieces will come off of here. Now I'm going to pull these off of here. That way I can feather this out a little bit better. The problem is that when you have a hard edge like that when this sets up, it's going to have a hard edge, and you have that balsa, that soft balsa right there, and it's difficult to get it to not sand that down. You can put another piece of when you're sanding, you can put another piece of masking tape here, so that way when you're doing the sanding you don't come into the soft area too much. That's a good way to help protect that. So as messy as this stuff is, I really like doing this step on the plain builds. Oops. Here it goes. Cool. Lost that piece there. Boy, it starts to become like a Three Stooges episode here. Okay, well, the fiberglass on the top is now finished, and this just has to sit and cure up, and then come back and sand it later. Okay, well, this sat overnight and it's all cured up nicely now, and it's ready for sanding. I'm going to do that off camera, but it looks like it came out pretty good. Okay, well, you can see I've been sanding this down. I'm doing this outside because I don't like to want to minimize when I'm sanding with resins and fiberglass. cloth, I want to make sure that I'm in sort of open air conditions. But anyhow, this looking pretty good here, I think. Getting close. All right, so I pretty much finished sanding the center section with the fiberglass cloth, and I think I'm pretty close to finishing up the wing in general. Here's the bottom, the way it looks. Probably do a little bit more sanding, but it's pretty smooth right now, and it's a nice transition onto the balsa wood. I have the center servo opening cut open. Okay, so as mentioned, next time we're going to put on the aileron control hardware. Actually, just make room for it. I'm going to cut the space for it back on the trailing edge, and then I'm not actually going to install that until after we cover it. So I'm getting close. So it's going to be really cool. The next, this is almost finished with the wing, so I'll be able to start covering the whole plane here in a little bit. So thank you for watching my channel, and I have a lot of comments, and I appreciate the comments, and I appreciate the subscribers. So if you're interested and you like this type of thing, please subscribe and leave comments, good or bad, about what you see, or if questions and things like that. I have no problem with that type of thing. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and come back next time, and we're going to keep moving on with this Barnstormer 25S build.